Hello, this is Russ Walden with Father's Heart Ministry, and this is lesson number 22 of our baseline 52-week Bible course. In this section of the course, we've begun to study the fruits of the Spirit. There's much emphasis on the gifts of the Spirit. The gifts of the Spirit operate as the charismata of God. They release the anointing of God on you, flowing out in ministry to others. The fruits of the Spirit, however, have to do with the inversion of God's influence upon your character. The gifts flow through you out to others. The fruits of the Spirit are infused in you, producing God's character in your life and in your person. In studying the fruits of the Spirit, most people capitalize the word Spirit in the term fruits of the Spirit, and that is one way. However, there is also, can be said of the fruits of the Spirit, that they are the fruits of the born-again human spirit in union with Christ. The fruits of the Spirit of God are reflected as that which is produced in your human spirit as you are in union with Christ. John 15:5, Jesus put it this way, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you abide in me, then you're going to bring forth fruit, for without me you can do nothing. So Jesus is the vine, or the trunk, and we are his branches. And it is the branches that bear fruit, not the vine or the trunk of a tree. In other words, it's the manifestation of his character in us, out through us, and to us. John 15:4, Jesus said, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can you except you abide in me. The branch cannot bear fruit unless it is upon the vine. You must be connected to Christ. That's why Paul said, it is Christ in you that is the hope of glory. Christ in you is the only hope we have of the love of Christ and the power of Christ being reflected in our life. In Christ, it is the branch that bears fruit. It's a very simple analogy. Jesus went on to put it this way in verse 8 of John 15. Herein is my Father glorified. There is a hope of glory on the inside of you, that you bear much fruit, so shall you be my disciples. Now, fruit is not produced as a religious performance. A tree doesn't do anything. It simply reposes in the environment that is conducive to the production of that which the husbandman is looking for. So discipline is remaining in a place of repose in the spiritual environment that produces his character in our life. Jesus is looking to you. He's examining us that in the expectation that the fruit of his character is produced in us. You tend to look to him to bear fruit in you, but he's looking to you to bear fruit in him. You should expect that you will bear fruit in him, because apart from him you can do nothing, but you're not apart from him, therefore all things are possible. Even the manifestation of his character in your life. Now, in beginning to look at the itemization, the inventory of the fruits of the Spirit, we go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So these are 9 fruits or products of the Spirit. Now remember, these fruits are what the influence of the Spirit of God manifests in your life and in your spirit. Now let's look at the love of God. The word love here is agape. It means literally a love feast. Another place in Galatians says, God is love. God is agape. And when God produces the fruit of love in your life, He's producing a reflection of Himself. Agape is the God kind of love. Theologians describe agape as the unconditional love of God. And from these you can see the giving nature of God. It is unprejudiced, unbiased, freely given love. It's His love to us and His love through us. This is the love that God causes to flow to you and through you out to others. Your enjoyment of the love of God to you is directly determined by the release of God's love through you out to others. And again, unprejudiced, unbiased, freely given love. The word agape also means beloved. It means to be fond of, to love dearly, to be content with. Now, unless you receive the love of God in your life, you're not going to be able to allow that love to flow out to others. You cannot give to others what you have not received for yourself. So you have to know the love of God in your own life. You have to know that He's fond of you. You have to know that He's content with you. He is not discontent with you. He is fond of you. Now, this is not just what He does or feels. Remember, it's who He is. God is love. He's the personification of fondness and contentment with you in life. This is the difference. See, you can change what you do, but you cannot change who you are. God is love, and as you receive Him as love, you're going to move from the idea of love as a work to something that you actually are, because you'll be like your Father. He is love in fullness, and you are love in seed form, and He wants to produce that seed in you and nurture it into full-blown fruit in manifestations. Others then will receive that love, and that love will be communicated through you because you've received the love of God yourself. You see, the love of God in you is not typified by the picture of, I'm going to love that person I don't get along with if it kills me and him both. That's what we call teeth-gritting love. God doesn't want you to have teeth-gritting love. When His love is produced in you, it is effortless love. It's His effortless production of His character within us, and you are content, and you are fond, and you are at ease with those that you encounter in life because it is who He is, and you understand He's content with you. He's fond of you. He loves you unconditionally. He has an unprejudiced, unbiased love for you, and therefore you can allow that to manifest outwardly in your treatment of others. The dictionary defines fondness as to be loving and foolishly tender. God is foolishly tender towards you. In other words, if others could see just how fond the Father is to you, they would say, well, that's just not necessary. Like when we're in the store and we see a child who's acting in a manner that perhaps we think calls for discipline, and the parent is being tender and being indulgent. You know, the Father is indulgent of you. If He was not indulgent of you, you wouldn't last a day. He's an indulgent God. He's foolishly fond of you. He cares for you and He loves you, and He's producing that character of indulgence and fondness and contentment on the inside of you out toward others. You need to allow Him to love you, and as you allow Him to love you, then you're going to love others. Another definition of fondness means to be overly affectionate, like a doting father. As the object of God's fondness, it means that He cherishes you with a strong and unreasoning affection. The Father doesn't love you as a result of a choice He's made, or reasoned or computed that you're lovable. Because guess what? You're not lovable. Truth be told, most of us are just not lovable. And so if love was a choice, God would choose not to love us. But He doesn't. Love is who he is. Love is not a choice for God. Love is who he is. I don't choose to be Russell Walden. I am Russell Walden, and I can't do much about it. Likewise, God is God. God is love, and he cannot be. He said, I am the Lord thy God, I change not. That's why he loves us with an everlasting love. He's fond of us. He's indulgent of us. He's foolishly affectionate toward us, and you can afford to be foolishly affectionate and content with others because God is capable of addressing things. Say, well, what about this in their life that's making me miserable? God knows how to adjust those things, and his grace is capable to produce change as necessary. We don't have to bring people under our scrutiny and disapproval as a means of effecting change. So this is God's genuine affection for you, and as you receive the genuine affection of the Father, then it's going to be produced in your life out toward others. John, who wrote the Gospel of John, was known as John the Beloved. He had a deep revelation of the love of Christ toward his person. From the very beginning, he was known to lay his head on Jesus' shoulder during meals with the Master and his disciples. He speaks of the love of God 39 times in his Gospel. And in reviewing these references, we understand the love of God towards you and how it will manifest. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave. God's giving to you. Why does God give to you? Because you've been a good little Christian? No. For God so loved the world. It is his love that motivates his giving. God, how do you know God's going to answer your prayer? Because you went to church, prayed, paid your tithes? No. God didn't say that. He gives to you. His giving is motivated by his loving. And his loving caused him to give his best gift, which was his son 2,000 years ago. If he gave you his best gift 2,000 years ago, what makes you think he's holding back on anything he promised today? God loved the world that was in total opposition to him. He loved his enemies because love is not a choice. He does not think about loving, therefore he does not think about giving. He gives to you intuitively and without thinking. He doesn't stop to decide whether or not you deserve that for which you've asked. He only said that whatever you ask in my name you'll receive if only you believe. As his love begins to pervade your personality and you begin to let him love, then love for you will be a natural response to others. You're not going to measure, say, well, do you deserve my kindness? Do you deserve my love? No, love flows out of you. The only way love will flow out of you is if you let the love of God flow to you. If you think God is an austere, white-haired old man with a ruler ready to rap your knuckles, then you are never going to be able to love others, and you're going to be a miserable Christian. But we don't want to be miserable Christians. We want to be beloved children of the Most High God. And understand John 3:16, a verse that everyone knows. For God so loved that he gave. Why is he giving? Because he loves. He's not holding out on us. We need to let him love us unconditionally. So let love be a natural response. Love involves a choice. Love that involves a choice is not God's love. I'll love this one, but I won't love that one. As you meditate and ponder the love of God and allow it to dominate how you think on a daily basis, you will become the personification of the God who is love. John 3:35, the Father loved the Son and has given all things into his hand. Again, the love of God has an immediate association with giving. God is love. God is a giving God. His intuitive response to the object of his love is to give whatever is needed or desired. If you love your grandchildren or your babies, you're going to give them the desires of their heart. How much more does the Father love you and is willing and prepared to give liberally to you? This is the heart of our faith, and it's the basis of an expectation of answered prayer. John 5:20, for the Father loves the Son, and he showed him all things. So if God loves you, he's going to show you. And if you love others, you're going to be willing to show them some things. You're going to be willing to be patient and to illuminate others who are in darkness and who don't understand, instead of dismissing them as ignorant and not worthy of being taught. When you need understanding or wisdom, you need to know that you're asking the God of love, whose very nature is to give the thing you're asking for. He's going to show you. He showed Jesus all things because he loved him. He's going to show you. He didn't show Jesus all things because he was Jesus and nobody else was eligible. No, he showed Jesus all things because he's love. God is not capable of loving Jesus more than he loves us. And what he did for Jesus, he will do for us because it's his nature. It's who he is. Because he loves you, he's going to show you all those things that you need to know. He says that he shows and he gives because he loves. It's unconditional. His love is the only condition. How do we fulfill the condition of receiving the gift of God? Receiving his love. John 13:34. Jesus said, I give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. You've been commanded to love others as Christ loves you. And in reality, does Christ treat you the way you treat others? No, he gives to you. He shows to you. Let that love flow out through you. You will never treat someone in a manner higher or better than you perceive God treats you. And the mistreatment of others and indifference toward others is a reflection of your true opinion of God holding himself aloof, God withdrawing himself from you. And it's a false notion. God so loves that he gives. God so loves that he shows. You need to let him love you. And if you will let him love you, then that love will be produced in you out to others. So your abundance of love or lack of love for others is an indication of your personal understanding of God's love in your own life. You see, this verse, we see also in this verse that it is possible to love others in the magnitude and character of God's love. If Jesus commands you to love others as he loves, then it's possible. Don't think that's a deception. It's a lie. It's a despicable lie that you cannot love others with the love that is measured in scope only by the love that Jesus has for us. It's a commandment, therefore it's possible. He's providing the grace for it to happen. The Father would not command you to love if he was not prepared to impart to you the capacity for love and bring you into a place that your love would grow into the very personification of his love for you, your love for others. John 15:9, as the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Continue you in my love. You know, it's necessary to continue in the love of God. The word continue, because love has a shelf life. So there, because we're human, and if we allow love to become passive, then it wanes into indifference. So we have to continue. And the way to continue in the love of God toward others is to continue in the love of God and your perception of the love of God for yourself. This word continue means to remain. Remain in the love of God. To survive. Let's survive. And let love survive the trial. Let your perception of the love of God for you survive what you're going through right now. It means to hold in a particular state, to hold on to maintain. You're going to have opportunity to depart from the love of God, but you can say, I will remain in the love of God. I will love effortlessly. I will love fondly. I will love unconditionally. I am going to receive that love, and I'm going to reflect that love even in my life. You could say, I will not personify hostility or hatred, but I will remain in the personification of God's love in my life. The word continue means to survive in the love of God, and in truth, you will not survive any other way, for faith works by love. Unanswered prayer, conflicts, and contradictions to God's promise in your life many times is a reflection of a lack of receiving the love of God and allowing the love that you have received to be imparted out to others. If you allow yourself to be moved out of the love of God, then you will not survive the trials of life. The way to remain in the love of God is to keep your eyes or your attention focused on what the Word says about the love of God for you, even when circumstances seem to indicate that maybe you're not receiving the full benefit and scope of the implications of God's love. But stay focused on His love, and His love will begin to flow out through you to others as the effortless fruit of the environment of His promise that He's made available to you. God bless you. We will continue this series next week, and this section of our 52-week course will cover all of the fruits of the Spirit. And if you would like to receive the entire course on ebook or paperback, you can go to fathersheartmedia.com and acquire it there. God bless you.